Hey everybody, this is Chris with foulfanatics.com. Today I'm going to be making Salisbury steak using half ground beef and half duck. Basically the idea is that the duck doesn't have very much fat, so it's difficult to cook with. What I've got here is some real cheap 80% lean ground beef, so hopefully that fat's going to help even out the duck. And my fiance made this recipe recently and it turned out fabulous. It was just ground beef. So I figured this might be a good way to use up some duck. What I have here is about a pound of duck, roughly. I know it's a pound of meat, pound of ground beef. I've got an onion chopped up. I've got Italian-style breadcrumbs. I've got ketchup, mustard, Worcestershire sauce, black pepper, salt, garlic powder, and some steak seasoning. Also beef broth. You can see that in the back. And so we're going to make Salisbury steak, and it's going to go over mashed potatoes. Stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing is grinding up my duck. This is some nice duck from our duck opener a few weeks ago. Just feed it in there and let it extrude out, or whatever you call it, and grind it up real nice. Then we're going to mix it in with our ground beef in just a second. Okay, the next step is to fry up some onions, a little butter. So we got the pan heating up. Let that butter melt a little bit. So the butter's getting pretty warm. I'm going to put some of these onions in and get them going. I like big chunks of onion, so I didn't cut them up too well. So the onions just have to cook a few minutes longer till they get nice and cooked and soft and caramelized. And then we're going to set those aside to make room in the pan for the meat. The next step here is to mix up the meat, mix the duck and the beef together with all the spices. Okay, so we have our duck. We just ground up. We have our pound of ground beef. Next thing we need is a whole cup of breadcrumbs. I've got a half cup measure here, so I'm going to do 2 of those. It says a teaspoon of garlic salt. I think that was too much. It'll be nice and garlicky. And that's a teaspoon of pepper. Garlic pepper, I'm going to go a little more than a teaspoon, I think. Teaspoon of mustard. And a tablespoon of ketchup. We got to put in a little bit of the steak seasoning. And we need some Worcestershire sauce. So that's it for everything that goes in there. Now we just have to mix it together. Get all these breadcrumbs into the mix. Get all the seasoning mixed in there. Get the duck mixed in with the beef. It already smells good. Onions are almost done cooking. It actually smells really good. Can't wait to have this. There, it appears to be mixed up pretty good. I'm going to wash my hands off quick and form this into patties and start frying it up. So I'm just forming this into patties. A little bit smaller than a baseball, I guess. It looks like I'll be able to make about 8 of them. 8 of them here out of what I have. Not sure if I'll be able to cook that many at once, but I can sure try. 7, not 8, but close enough. Now I got to take the onions off and start frying these bad boys up. Okay, the onions are out of the skillet. I'm going to put a little more butter in here, let that melt for a minute, and then start frying up these patties. The onions turned out nice. Alright, so we got some butter getting hot here, pan's getting hot. Now we're going to put these patties on to start cooking. Well, it looks like I'm only going to have room to cook a couple at a time, but that's okay. I'm just going to cook them for a couple minutes on each side. Flip them once. Hopefully they'll be cooked fairly well, and then I'm going to simmer them in the sauce, and that should cook them the rest of the way. And I'm not going to eat all this right away anyway, so it'll be good for leftovers if it's not overdone. I just flipped the first one. They're cooking real nice. I think I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit and cook the rest of them here. Well, these are looking nice and browned. I'm going to take them off. Oh yeah. Take them off the heat here, and they'll continue to cook through on their own. They're so hot. Put these other ones on. Repeat the process, and then we're going to simmer them in some sauce. Okay, so now I'm working on the sauce. You're supposed to do it in the pan you cooked it in, but my pan's not big enough. I kind of screwed that up. So I found a bigger pan. I'm going to put some butter in here, let that melt. My meat's just about done cooking. I got that in the other pan. Uh-oh. We're going to let this butter melt, and then we're going to put in some flour. Put in 2 tablespoons of flour. Oops. Mix that in with the butter. Thicken this up. My recipe here calls for beef stock, beef broth. This is a 48 ounce. I only need about half of it, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I'm going to cook it down and thicken it up anyway, so. Now I'm going to stick all this meat in here. I think I was supposed to let the sauce thicken before I put the meat in, but I think it'll still work. It'll cook for a little while and thicken up. I'm just going to let it keep simmering until the sauce thickens up. It's going to keep cooking the meat. Obviously I didn't cook the meat all the way through right away when I fried it, so it's going to keep cooking here, and I'm going to add these onions in, and it's looking pretty good. Okay, so everything's finished here. I've got some mashed potatoes. Put one of these bad boys on there. And get some onions and some gravy. Oh yeah, that looks good. Can't wait to try it. It's going to be a great lunch. Well, hopefully it's cooked all the way through. Let's give it a try here. Cut it open. Oh yeah, it's cooked nicely. Very nice. That's excellent. I could eat that all day long. I can't taste any duck, any game flavor. Tastes exactly the same as when it was made with all beef. Excellent. Gonna make this when we go hunting next time, I think. Cook up a whole bunch of duck. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm enjoying eating this, that's for sure. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.